And welcome back to Explore Travel TV. My name is David L. Peters, where my mission is to entertain, educate, and motivate you to a great vacation and awesome life ahead. Now, this is part 2 of this interview, so please go to part 1 if you haven't seen part 1 yet, which introduces you to my friends that are traveling around the world almost all year long, and they're able to survive and live in many countries. So this episode, they're going to talk about a lot of great things that you cannot miss. So let's get right into the interview. Okay, so now where is the next place you guys are going, or how long you're staying where you're at now, and then where is the next stop?
So we are here until May 2nd, and then what we're doing from there is from Thailand, we're flying to Japan.
Wow.
And we're going to be in Japan only for 2 days. That's because we're taking, you probably can relate to this because you're a cruise guy. We are taking a cruise from Japan to Vancouver, and that's going to bring us back to the States. And a quick little plug for people who want to know about traveling. This is something that we have found a really cheap way.
This is a big tip,
This
guys.
is a big tip. Try to take advantage of taking what they call a repositioning cruise. So what happens is that we're flying to Japan, and we're going through Japan, and we're making 3 stops in Japan, a stop in Russia, and going through Alaska. And we got this cruise for $750 a person. Well, that is a plane ticket.
2 weeks.
That's a plane ticket. If you were to take a plane from Japan to Sacramento, it's probably like about $900. So we found that if you can find
and it would take you 30 hours with, layovers here and the stress and that stuff.
Yeah. So if you can, there's these cruises that happen like, they're called repositioning cruises, and you can catch them 2 or 3 times out the year.
And what a repositioning cruise is, for your viewers who may not know, is a ship will sail in a certain area of in the world, say in the Caribbean for so many months. And then as the seasons change, they'll move that ship to another area in the world. And that's called the repositioning. Well, they have to take that ship and sail it to that other part of the world. But they'll fill it up with people at substantial savings to everyone, because it's not considered a full-fledged cruise, although they give you nightly entertainment.
All the amenities.
All the food. It's basically a cruise. But you start in one area of the world and you end up in another, where when you get on a cruise, you start in, say, San Francisco, you cruise around the Bahamas or whatever, and then you come back to San Francisco and they drop you off. This, you start off in Vancouver, because the cruise that we're taking in May, we actually took in September of last year, and when they repositioned from Vancouver, they were doing Alaska tours, they transitioned out to, where did we end up in? Japan. Yeah. So they transitioned it out to Southeast Asia, and we just got on there, paid nothing, and that time it was almost a 3-week cruise. It was a 3-week cruise. Now it's 2 weeks coming back. I think they're cutting out one layover somewhere, but substantial price. So take a repositioning cruise. They're phenomenal.
Yeah, very inexpensive. And we thought, well, that's the best way to travel. We got 15 days as opposed to doing it for 30 hours. At a cheaper price.
And most cruise lines do them twice a year.
Yeah.
And first class travel at that point too.
Yeah. And incredible.
So we're coming home in May 21st, we'll be home, and we're going to be home for 2 months. And then our next destination, David, is Mexico. So nice. we are going to spend 6 months in Mexico, because our U.S. passport allows us to stay 6 months in Mexico. So we've heard a lot of things about Mexico. So what we're going to do is just find a home base in Mexico in 3 different locations, and then just kind of travel outside of Mexico all over. So our first stop is San Miguel del Ente. We're going to be there for 2 months, for 60 days. So we already have that booked and planned, and that's not even until August.
Yeah, we usually have to go about 3 months out we're booked 3 to 4 months out. 1 for savings, and 2, it just kind of gives you, you know, some comfort. If you do anything too much on the fly, then you're paying more in plane tickets and things like that. But it's a double-edged sword. We don't want to get too far out in the future for a couple of reasons. One, say you land someplace like Thailand. We love Thailand, and we ended up staying what started off as a month. We're now 4 months in. We were here 3 months, and we went to Cambodia, and now we're back again. So, I mean, if you really like a place, you want to have the flexibility to stay a little bit. So, gotcha. You know, it's a little dance, but it's nice.
Okay, so now, since you guys are gone so long, I know that you said that when you come back for your couple of months, you go see your doctor and your dentists and all that kind of stuff there. Now, a big question that I have that a lot of people have when they travel, whether it's even for a week or especially for as long a period of time as you guys are going, what do you guys do for insurance? Now, there's travel insurance I know about, which I'm going to probably do another video on, is, you know, travel insurance. But how do you guys do medical insurance? How do you cover your laptops and cameras, or what kind of system do you guys have in place for insuring yourselves?
Gotcha. Well, our medical insurance for us is through our retirement. And so basically we have a plan that when you travel, we're pretty much covered anywhere we go. So if we get something more to happen, we would have to pay out of pocket, but then when we get back home, we submit a claim, and then we get paid, we get our money back for that. So that's what we have for our medical. As far as our, believe it or not, I hate to even say it, but as far as our electronics and stuff, we don't have any insurance for that. We don't take out any insurance for our cameras or our laptops, and we travel with a camera and a laptop.
And 2 iPads.
And so we've been very fortunate that nothing has happened or nothing has gotten stolen, or that nature. So, but for us, the most important thing for us is our health. Yeah. Because once again, these little things can be replaced. A camera, iPad, computers, that can be replaced. But our health, we look at our health as more important than that.
So I'll give you a perfect example. When we were in Krabi, Thailand, just a couple months ago, I experienced a retinal detachment in my eye.
Oh,
my right eye. And we were in a very remote area. We were in a small beach town in Thailand where not a lot of Americans are, and let me tell you, it was very remote. And so when retinal detachment started, I'd had one previously in this other eye. Don't get old, folks. When the warning signs happened, I knew what was going on. So the next morning, it happened at night. The next morning, we set out to go try and find a doctor, and there wasn't anyone who could handle it. Someone could diagnose it. He looked at my eyes, said, "Oh yes, you've got the beginnings of a retinal detachment." But we had to fly. I contacted my ophthalmologist back in the States and said, "Oh, I'm having this situation," and he said, "You don't have time to fly home." He said, "You need to fly to the next big city and have surgery there." Pretty scary, I mean, in a foreign country, you don't speak the language, and now you're talking about surgery on your eye. So we flew to Bangkok, and within 30-something hours from realizing, oh my gosh, I think I've got a retinal detachment, I was in eye surgery. And this was state-of-the-art facility. They spoke perfect English. The facilities were sterile, so clean.
So clean.
I was treated, having gone through a retinal detachment in this eye and having gone now one in this eye, I have to say my treatment in Bangkok was superior to what I received. And not that my treatment in the States was bad, but it just was crazy. I mean, there's just, loopholes you have to go through, and, This was so seamless and so easy, and their whole system there was great. The whole process, I'll be honest, the whole process out of pocket with follow-up visits and everything probably is about $6,500. For this one in the States was well over $25,000. Now we didn't pay that because our insurance. I think this eye cost me $15 copay. Thank God for insurance. So we paid $6,500 for this one, but we have all the receipts. Now, when we come home next month, we submit those receipts and we get reimbursed.
Nice. Yeah, that's good.
So
that's
good
coverage. I remember when that happened.
What's that?
Yeah, I remember when that happened to you. I remember seeing the posts and stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's kind of crazy. But I mean, it just goes to show that healthcare abroad, don't be afraid of it.
Don't be afraid of it. They have a lot of the doctors and nurses, they train in the States, and then they come back into their countries and open up businesses. And being witness to what Todd had gone through and speaking to the doctors, we were treated with so much respect and so professional.
So much care.
And so much care. I mean, some of the care was like, put it this way, we had, when he had his surgery, number one, the doctor,
yes,
it wasn't even her regular day to do surgery. She came in just to do Todd's surgery. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, right after the surgery, 5 hours later after the surgery, she asked if we could come back to the hospital so she can check his eye out.
Nice.
So I thought you were going to tell this story. As they're getting me ready for the surgery, I was nervous. I mean, someone's going to operate on my eye in a foreign country. I was very nervous. Mm-hmm. Someone came in and gave me a foot and leg massage for a half hour.
Oh, nice.
And they do that to relax you and bring your blood pressure down. Yeah. Because they took my blood pressure right after and they were like, okay, everything's good. But in the States, they'll just give you an IV, you know, and shoot you up with
medicate you.
And here they gave you a massage to bring you down. It was the most relaxing, like it was almost like a spa. Music was playing and I was in this really nice relaxed chair and she gave me this massage. And then when it was all done, it was like, okay, and they wheeled me into the operating room.
It only cost you $6,500 for the massage and you got a free eye surgery.
Exactly.
Okay, so you guys have been out there, you're doing this stuff. Have you had any regrets at all doing what you did, selling the house, quitting the job, and doing your traveling? Any regrets?
Yes.
Yes.
That we didn't do it sooner.
Nice.
Yeah, I have to, I'm going to give a little plug to, I'm going to give a little plug to David Peters on this.
Hey, that's me.
And you.
Yeah. Plug for me. Okay, go ahead. Bring it on.
When you made a decision to leave the job that we were both working at to go pursue your dreams and live and go to LA, it really resonated with me. And so when Todd and I was making the decision to look at going to go travel, I thought, wow, David did it. And he went out and just did it. And it's one of those things where, you know, we both, you and Todd and I, the three of us, we put action into it and we just made it happen. So watching you do what you did actually gave me a lot of confidence to be able to go, okay, you know what, we can do this. And so, because I think it was probably a year later, you left, and then about a year after that, we were on our journey to go and do travel.
So you never know whose life you're influencing.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I remember that too. And I remember you contacted me because we were still in contact, and you mentioned that to me. You said what you did, because I sold my house, I quit my job, I sold everything too.
We're scared for you.
Yeah, to come to Los Angeles and live my dreams as an actor and all that. And when you said that I helped inspired you to do that same thing and travel the world, that was just like, now it's doing my thing, you know. But that's awesome, and that's what I want to do with this show. Is I hope to help inspire other people to go and venture out and go travel, and don't just be stuck in your city or your town or your state or your country. A lot of people
it's a big world out there.
The people haven't even left their own cities or their own states or their own countries. They don't travel. And there's so many beautiful, beautiful places. I mean, America has got great places as well, but yeah, traveling and doing stuff is just such a great experience. And that's my hope, is to help inspire other people to get out there and see different things and different cultures and do it. So I'm glad you guys did. I mean, I'm just like so thrilled to death that you guys, I'm following along. And matter of fact, let's do that right now. Let's plug, how do people follow you? Because you guys have a website, you have YouTube, you have Instagram, and I know you post photos, and I'm gonna put photos up on this video kind of along the way, this conversation, and maybe some afterwards of you guys. If you don't mind, I'm going to take some of your photos and pop them up here on the screen for people to see with all the temples behind you and all that. But how can people follow along in your journey and what you're doing? Where can they find you guys?
Okay, well, a couple ways, like you mentioned. We've got a website, which is www.nomadicadventurers.com. And then we have a Facebook by the same name, Nomadic Adventurers. And then we have an Instagram account, which is nomadic.adventurers. And that's probably the best ways to find us. Oh, and then YouTube. We have a YouTube account, which is also, I think, Nomadic Adventurers. I was so surprised that was available.
that was perfect. And I'm gonna put all the links below the video in the description area, and some titles up here while people are watching the video. I'm gonna pop those up there so people can come and take a look and watch you guys. Subscribe to their YouTube channel because that helps them as well, and you really get a chance to see them travel in all these countries like all year round, except for a couple months, you know?
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So what advice would you guys give to people that are thinking of traveling, whether as extensive as you guys to sell everything and do it, or even just adventure out for something they've never done before? What would you guys tell people about that?
I would definitely tell people, number one, do not be scared of the world. Get out there and see things and go for it. I'm gonna give a little, there might be some people who are like on that verge of like thinking about maybe retiring or thinking they can go, you know what, maybe in 3 or 4 more years, I'll be able to do this. I'm gonna tell you what, sometimes the 3 or 4 years doesn't even make a difference. You're saving and holding on for 3 or 4 more years for what, an extra $300 or $400 more a month. At the end of the day, it doesn't even matter, because a great example is that just last year, Todd and I were in a major car accident last year.
Back in the States.
Back in the States. And
see, that's what you get for coming home.
Yeah. Right. Life is so short. You just never know. None of us are promised the next day. So get out there. If you're thinking about retiring and you're thinking you're going to do it, just go out and do it, because we've seen people retire, but then a month later, I mean, they waited till they were 60-something years old and they retire and then they die.
Right.
So I would encourage people to do things while they're got their health, while they're younger, to get out there and see the world and experience it.
I have 2.
Yeah.
One, wherever you're traveling, learn a couple of the words in their language.
Sure.
Thank you. Please, where's the bathroom? It's very simple. You can Google it, however you want to do it. Learn a few phrases, because you don't want to be that foreigner who expects everyone to speak their language when you're in their country. I always liken it to, well, how would you like to be walking down the street somewhere in Los Angeles and someone walks up to you and just starts speaking Japanese to you, and you're going to be like, what? So you don't want to be in Japan and walk up to someone and just start speaking English to them. They're going to look at you like, not in my town, homie. Yeah. And so learn a few key phrases. Once you make an attempt and they see that you made an attempt, it lowers their defenses and they're much more receptive to you. Yeah. If you just come out the chute speaking English only, they look at you as just a nasty tourist. But if you come and you have reverence for their language and you try and speak and then say, I'm sorry, I can only speak a few words, they mellow right out. They mellow right out and say, no problem, no problem. So that's a big tip there. My other one, Google what the culture is like and what are acceptable and what is not acceptable. Because things that are acceptable in the States are not acceptable in a lot of other countries. Things like pointing your finger at somebody or yelling, or any of these things are viewed as rude, socially unacceptable, and can get you ostracized real quick if you come into a country and start acting like a crazy American fool. Americans have a pretty bad stigma
Yeah, actually, guys, I just my last video, I posted a video recently on 5 countries and their kind of odd laws that they have, things that we don't think would be against the law or against the rules. And so I posted that video. I'll maybe put a card up here in one of the corners, and so people can check that out if they want. Just some strange laws, the things not to do in certain countries, but there are tons of customs and laws that we take for granted here in the United States that you go there and it's not a bit, you can't do it.
Right.
You can get trouble.
I hope people don't get caught up in going, oh, I can't travel there because I can't speak the language, or I can't do this. There is no excuse these days for not being able to go to travel just because of language. When you have things like Google Translate, when you can go and communicate with anybody in any language these days. So there's that fear of going, oh, I can't speak the language. That just kind of goes out the window, or should go out the window, just because, I mean, nowadays technology has where you can communicate with people.
Google Translate, people.
That has.
And actually, I have I downloaded a couple of apps when I was doing some traveling, translation apps. You put in what you want to say, it translates it at least close enough to ask a question. You can audio, you can press the button and it'll speak for them, or you can show them the words. Or it's so easy to communicate now.
Our favorite app that we use, and it's free, is Google Translate. And Google Translate is amazing because, just like you say, you can speak into it, it'll translate it into their language. But say you're in a restaurant, and we've been in this situation many times, there's no English on this restaurant menu. You know, you take your camera, and with Google Translate, you can run the camera over the menu and go down, and it instantly translates it through the camera into your language.
I haven't used that before. That's awesome.
Yes, it's so amazing. So check it out.
Yeah, you can even do that if you want to know, like you walk past the building, you're like, what is that? You pull out your camera.
You just watch it do this, and you do that, and look at the sign, and it translates it.
So there's no reason where people cannot travel and be able to communicate with other people. So don't let that stop you from going to go travel the world, or go to a different country. You know, just go out there and go for it.
Right.
Yeah, and that's my motto. I mean, one of my big main motto is life is short, so live it. And living it to me is going to see other things in countries, you know.
Yeah.
And I think, and this is just kind of like what we were talking about a little bit earlier, but I think another just important tip is just always remember you are a guest in their country, wherever country you visit. So act like a guest and be very gracious and kind. Yeah,
and don't expect it to be American style. I mean,
we've heard so many people who are traveling. Well, they don't do this in America. Well, that's because it's not America.
Exactly.
And, we see these families who are traveling. They're there for a week, and they're like, "Oh my God, we got to take a tuk-tuk." Yeah, because that's how it is here. And
live in the moment. Live in the country.
Live in the moment, exactly. One of the best little tidbits of advice I got was when I was in my early 20s. I was in Paris, and I made a friend there, and we were there in a bar one night, and we were talking, and the topic of Americans came up, and they were just like, "Oh, Americans," and I realized, even then Americans had kind of a shitty reputation internationally. And I asked him, I said, "So what is it about Americans that is so bothersome?" And he said, I'm not going to do it in my lousy French accent, but he basically said, in America, you're always, "Oh, look at me, I'm an American, look at me." And he goes, and then you come to my country and it's, look at me, I'm American, look at me. And he goes, you come to our country and you expect to everyone look at you like you're an American and look at you. And he goes, "We don't care." And that resonated with me because it's true. When we do go there, we think, "Oh, well, I'm an American. That carries some clout." You check that clout at the door when you got on the plane to fly internationally. Very, very few countries go, "Ooh, you're American." We try and downplay it when people go, "Where are you from?" We say we're from California. Let them figure it out. Because California, for some weird reason.
Oh, movie stars and beaches.
Exactly. Everyone goes, "Oh, Hollywood." Yes.
Hollywood.
So
well, for me, that's about right.
The minute you say, "Oh, we're from the United States," it's like, "Oh." Yeah. And then the first thing out their mouth is they want to get into politics. So we go,
yeah, we're not going to go there. Well, guys, it has been awesome talking to you. It's been a long time since I've actually seen you and talked to you. Again, I follow along on your websites and all that. Thank you so much for coming on here and giving my audience a chance to see and talk to people that are actually doing what a lot of people only dream of doing. So I totally appreciate you guys. I don't even know what time is it there?
Hold on. It is 10:23 on Friday.
On Friday, okay, and it's 8:24 on p.m. on Thursday here, so you guys are ahead of us. But so I totally appreciate you guys' time, and I'm gonna have you back on a couple other episodes that I have in mind. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna bring you guys back in because you guys are doing it, you're living it, and I so much appreciate you guys' time. And thank you so much. And say goodbye to everybody.
Apumka. That's
awesome.
Here in Thailand.
All right. Thanks again. We'll see you guys later. Well, thanks again, guys, for watching. I hope you watched all of the video for part 1 and part 2. As you can see, these are super, super great guys. I love them a lot. I've been friends with them for a real long time. And being able to travel for 2.5 years, 10 months out of the year, living in all these different countries is just amazing. Something that I've always dreamed of, and I still might do that as well. So I hope this motivates you to at least get out of your town, your city, and go travel, even if it's just for a week or a weekend. If you can't do year-round like they can, still go out and explore. You'll definitely enjoy it. It'll be a great life experience for you guys. Thank you again for watching. Again, hit the subscribe button and the bell and all that great stuff. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. I do appreciate that. And until next time, life is short, so live it. Get out there and do some traveling. We'll see you guys soon.